Hello, people. I am Jaby KOAY, joined by KAYDEN Phoenix.
Hello.
She is a director of 3 martial arts short films, so I thought it'd be fun if we could do some fight scenes together, or fight scene reactions together. She has a place to comment from, so as do I, as you guys know, from my little, few credits of doing martial arts stuff. This is Agent Lou, Jet Li, versus the twins, Cyril Raffaele and Didier Azoulay. This comes from Kiss of the Dragon. I have watched this movie before, but it's been super long. Like, I was a kid when I saw this movie.
He was 5.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's been a minute. Oh, that guy's a Taekwondo expert for sure. Those kicks.
They're quick.
That was...
Oh.
Side semi.
Like, it's Street Fighter. He reminds me of the guy from Street Fighter.
I like how the tall guy's barely doing anything, and the shorter one is like doing all the acrobatics and whatnot.
It works out. Comedy always works.
It's a nice side semi. Oh gosh. He's got him. That's nice. This is a nice little story to the fight. He's got him in an area that doesn't let him use his skill set as well.
Huh. Oh, where's the other guy? I'm waiting. And the music, it's hip hop.
Wow. Oh, that's the second. Oh, Jesus. That was the second time he tried to use that move, and it did not work in his favor.
And then his feet.
This is gonna be over quick. Oh, he's got glass in his hands and he's using it.
They're both were the neck cracks.
That was really cool.
That was great.
Gosh, it's been so long since I watched that. I barely remember that. But what's great about that fight scene is there's a lot of story going on there, and that's one of my big issues with a lot of fight scenes today is you don't see story very often where it's just a lot of exchange. Like, one of the most popular martial arts films today is The Raid and The Raid 2.
Yes.
And while the action is just inherently great in it, it lacks story, it lacks a structure to their fight scenes. I'm in the minority camp of people who don't appreciate those fight scenes as much because it lacks story. It's like it just keeps going and going and going, and this is a great example of a fight scene where it's like it has a clear trajectory. Like, this character has an objective. He's trying to get to the other side of this room, and these two guys are in his path, right? And one guy has this super skill set of like dynamic kicks and flips and whatnot, which was excellently executed, by the way. And what happens is Jet Li knows he's got to get this guy away from open space in order to suppress his ability to use what he's got. And it works. And then the guy's like, you know what? That was a good move. I'm not gonna fall for that trick again. You come this way. And so there's like this nice little chess going on within this 3-minute sequence. It's brilliant. It's actually very, very well executed. The guy that Jet Li was fighting, he was pulling some incredible movement in there. Like, the back handspring he was doing. Normally, when you do a back handspring, you want to clear a lot of distance, and that's actually a lot easier to do, is to clear distance when you like sit and go back. But that guy was doing repetitious back handsprings in an area about like the size of this table right here, with stuff around him. The kind of precision that takes to not mess yourself up and go in the same spot. Like, I've seen people do it in real life. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of flexibility in your back. That's a lot of,
it's acrobatic.
It's acrobatic. You have to be absolutely precise. But as a director, how'd you feel about
As
this?
a director, it was amazing. I enjoy the shots, and I also like the evolution of how far we've come. Like, you think of even, say, Tomb Raider, which I know is not martial arts, but action martial arts. The shots back then, you look at it now, and it's just like, you know, it's different. The way that they shot it was different.
Yeah.
And it's still evolving. Like, I love dolly shots, and I like long takes, like, because, like, I default, like, Atomic Blonde at certain times when they did, like, that 7-minute action scene, the fighting scene. This would have been amazing as well, because obviously, like, they're on it, they know what they're doing, and they did quick cuts. It's the same thing. It's great. I enjoy it. I just also like the evolution of the way shooting has happened. Them going back and forth, like boom, 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 like left, left, right, like, and then they repeated a lot. Some of the here and there, they repeated the same moves. If you notice, like, his block was like 3 in a row on the exact same block, but it worked. You know, it's just like, okay, he still hasn't learned yet. They both learn from each other eventually. Like, here, like, come here, like, beckoning, like, it's cute, it's funny, gives a good little break.
Yeah.
And it's also like, okay, role reversal in a way. You know, it's like, no, it's my turn. And I do appreciate that stuff. I think it's a lot of fun. I always love the beats, like I said. It's a good, nice beat. It's a good, like, okay, let me breathe, because they're breathing as well.
Yeah.
And then they go full force again.
Yeah. That back flip into a double front kick. The first time I saw that was of all movies, I saw that in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. This is the second time I brought that up in the last, like, month, which is, like, unprecedented. I don't like to bring that movie up too much.
It was good. Same thing, for its time, it was good.
The fourth time, you said?
For its time when they did it, it was a good.
Oh, it was a pretty bad movie at the time too. But Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the second one.
Oh, okay.
The second one. The first one was fine.
See it. Okay.
The second one was pretty bad though. But I think it was Scorpion or Sub-Zero. One of them, they were fighting on the bridge, and one of them did that move, and it was really cool. But I don't believe it's possible to do that without wires. Just looking at the movement, I'm like, I'm pretty sure they were using wires. But the cool thing was, within the fight scene, like, I think it got Jet Li once, and then he committed that to memory. Yeah. He's like, okay, I know that's your ace in the hole. That's your special move. Yeah. So when the guy tried to do it again, he's like, no, I got you this time, and then cracked his neck. Jet Li was methodical in this fight, and that's what was great. He's like studying the guy and going, okay, I just need to one-up this guy, and then I can kill him. And he pretty much did. It was very, very well done in terms of the story. And then the tall guy's there who has no skills. Like, it was almost like the choreographer was like, okay, how do we make this work? All right, we'll push him off to the side for the most of the fight scene, and then we'll bring him in at the end, and then bing, bang, boom, and then he's done.
You didn't think they were twins? I thought they were twins this whole time.
No, the second guy was so much taller than him.
Okay, besides the height, they could have been
There's
twins.
no way they're twins.
No?
Have you ever seen twins in real life where one was a midget?
No, I mean, they're not.
I mean, he wasn't a midget,
it's
but
the
he
way
was
you
like,
shoot, the angle.
yeah. I mean, Jet Li is only 5'4", and that guy was close to his height, and the other dude was at least 6 feet tall. I wish they did more with that tall guy, but like, I get it. Like, they were just. He was just trying to get to the other side of the room. It was a very efficient fight scene. The way it was shot, because you were saying, like, how you like the evolution of how fight scenes have been, you know.
I appreciate of where we've come. Like, this is great. They're quick. There's certain strengths in this because they're medium shots, right? And so you don't necessarily see when they cut away, you're like, boom, the actual effect of when they're getting punched, which I really don't like that part, because it's like, let me sell it to you, as opposed to, like, let's have just good choreography and good actors. But I do like long takes, and I like wide shots, because then you know they're actually fighting. You know they know their stuff. And, like, same thing, like, they could have pulled it off. I don't think they did it back then, whenever this movie was, like, in the early 2000s, I believe, or something. But like,
one long take?
Yeah, like, not for fighting, at least.
They did it in, I can't remember when Kiss of the Dragon came out, but it wasn't that long after. We had a film called Tom Yong-gun, which in the States was called The Protector, starring Tony Jaa. And there was this really long, like, 7-minute fight scene going up a stairway. Which it was just insane. If you haven't seen it, it's insane. You can see over the course of the fight, Tony Jaa gets exhausted, but it was truly one take. Whereas Atomic Blonde, the other film you were referencing earlier, it was cut up.
It was cut up between 3, but they were very long takes, and there was great choreography. Like, the camera guy, the DP had to back up, and they're like, okay, this bodyguard's coming. Boom, let me get this.
There was definitely more than 3 cuts in that. No. There was definitely more than 3 cuts in that. If you go back, because I paused, I did a stop, I watched wherever they did a transition. I'm like, oh, that was really clever. That was really clever. I could see whenever they swapped Charlize Theron out for a stunt person and then put her back in. It was really well done. Like, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
It was really well done. That was a
Okay.
bomb-ass fight scene. That's the reason I have that Blu-ray. The movie was terrible, but like that fight scene was amazing. We don't have to get into that. But like
Alright,
that
we
fight
won't
scene
get
was
into it.
amazing.
What about this?
So this right here, like it could have been interesting as a one long take, but I think that with the complexity of the stunts involved, with the tables moving and the glass and whatever, yeah, that would have definitely been impressive, but I'm not mad at it. I'm actually impressed with how they did it, considering that it was an American film. I think it was American. It could have been shot so much worse, is what I'm trying to say. You could actually see the choreography and appreciate it, and you still felt impact when the dude's leg got caught in the table and it pans down, you're like, oh, that's what happened. It was just kind of interesting catching up with what was happening in the fight, as opposed to just kind of stitching together a semblance of
the really
stuff.
Quick cuts, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is stuff I don't like.
No, I thought this was really well done. I'm actually really happy that we watched this. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Thank
Please make sure
you.
to check out Kayden Phoenix on the social media. You can check out her short films as well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out our other reactions, reviews, and short films. I'm Jaby KOAY. This is
KAYDEN Phoenix.
Peace out.